Many of you must have heard of the trending news of the top scorer in JAMB in 2026. While reading one of these interviews, I read something and the interviewer was like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And she was like, "No, I don't have a boyfriend." And she has never had one. If you dig deep into that story, you will notice how she moved from 293 the previous year to 372 this year. For many of the students that I know, that alone could have made them think very lowly of themselves, thinking that if I got 293 this year, how on earth can I even get 372? Many of you must have heard of the trending news of the top scorer in JAMB in 2026, which is Owoeye Daniella. But she knew something you never knew. Now, after going through her interviews and studying her reading patterns, I discovered something that many students never know, and even if they know too late. And in this video, I'll be telling you all about that. You see, many people just think that success is about applying principles, but trust me, if you don't apply principles using the right mindset, you're still going to fail. And that is one big mistake many JAMBites make. Here's what I mean. So you see, it's not enough that you just say, "I want to get a very good score in JAMB, in Post-UTME," because many of you are now preparing for Post-UTME. But it is very important that you have a complete, perfect, clear picture of what you want to get and why you want to get it. So it's not just what you want to get, because if you say, "I just want to have 360, that becomes a cliche over time. Many of these things you might have had them before, but you not taking them serious while you had them was the reason why you didn't perform. You probably didn't perform as much as you expected. So if you listen and practice very well now, I'm sure you get your desired score. So I want you to know that success or excellence is first won or gotten in the mind. So several times in the interview, she would say things like, "I always believed I could be a part of the top 10. Even I knew I was going to be a part of the top 10. Even before the news or announcement came out that she was a part of the top 10. And one very important thing, which I felt was a very big motivation to getting a high score, was she said something about the female gender and how she has always aspired that the top 10 in JAMB isn't just left for the male gender, but also a space is created for the female gender by the hard work they put in. That alone is enough to inspire her to not just do it for herself, to not just read for herself because she just wants to get a good score, but to also, as she's reading, do you know what is going through her mind? What is going through her mind is that I am doing this for every female in Nigeria. I'm doing this for every female taking UTME in Nigeria. That is a very big motivation. So know exactly what you want to score and have a strong why to why you want to score it. So now, for instance, you that are preparing for Post-UTME, a strong why wouldn't be that just for me to leave my parents' house, no, and enter into the university. That is not a very strong why. A strong why is something more compelling, something bigger than yourself. So if it's still boxed in yourself, if it's still all about you, there will be not much drive. So the first thing is always see the picture in your mind. Always rehearse it. Rehearse that score you want to get constantly in your mind. And you are one step ahead of many other people. Another powerful lesson you'd have to learn is systems work, not goals. What I mean here is that several times when I was reading and watching her interview, she would mention things like, "I always start my reading by 7 a.m. and end by 10:30, and from that time I'll take consistent breaks in the middle, but my breaks were not social media, my breaks were other things." That is a structure. Another powerful structure is setting of alarms on our phone, constantly associating ourselves with people that are moving towards the same goal that she's moving towards. Many of you don't know that your associations even is a structure, is very pertinent to what you would eventually get. If you move around 4 unserious people, you most likely be the 5th unserious person. But if you move around 4 brilliant people, you most likely be the 5th brilliant person, because iron sharpens iron. So you want to create systems around your life to ensure that this goal you have seen comes to pass, becomes accomplished. That is the reason why you want to have a study timetable. You want to section the times you are going to read, the times you are going to solve past questions, the times you are going to engage in brainstorming. All these little things, you want to put them inside of your plan and your system. And for this, if you are confused about doing this, you can always reach out to me via my DM. I'm open to help as many people as possible that need help with setting a study timer. And as well, if you join our Post-UTME tutorials, which will be starting anytime from now, you're also going to get access into full-time mentorship on most of these things. Another key thing that you'd have to learn is immersion. Immersion changes people. What do I mean by immersion? Immersion, I simply mean obsession. When you're constantly obsessed about something, it is most likely that you will get that thing done. A way you can curate obsession, or a way you can help yourself to be obsessed. I know using that word obsessed might not be so nice for many of you, but that is the word. You can't really beat everybody in a field if you are not obsessed about being the best in that field. And that was what she was all about. You could see it in the way she studied from 7 a.m. to 11:30. That's even sometimes 12. That is almost 5 hours on a stretch. That is not all for the day. She would still come back in the afternoon and in the evening, and she was doing that every single day. Not only relying on the notes she got from the online tutorials she had, she would watch YouTube videos, do weekly practice questions on her own, aside the many things that are being done in her tutorials. So that is the best definition of obsession, if you ask me. So you must constantly create an environment that helps you get obsessed, to ensure that this thing becomes exactly what I intended for it to become, or this is the score I intended to get. And it's important that you stay through the process in your practice mocks to ensure that this score that I intended to get, I am now getting it, until you relax. And even then you don't relax, you continue again. Some of the things she did to build an environment that ensured that got her obsessed was gathering resources around her, going out of her way to get YouTube videos, to get PDFs, to get past questions, several resources aside the normal resources that every student would use to prepare for the examination. So that is very important in anything you are doing if you really want to succeed extraordinarily at it. So tell yourself, today I'll become someone who is obsessed about excellence. Say it. Yes. Let's see about that. One mistake I see a lot of students make is, because of they attending a particular tutorial, they think they don't have to put in as much effort in their personal study than if they are not attending a tutorial at all. That is a lie. Your personal study is the most important thing. In fact, you might not be attending a tutorial, but just studying on your own and you still be very good. But tutorial just helps and gives you that community that you need. So please make sure that your personal study is always consistent, no matter what. Very, very important. If you get this right, you're going to get several things right. While reading one of these interviews, I read something and the interviewer was like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And she was like, "No, I don't have a boyfriend." And she has never had one. You might be thinking, how does this have to do with this conversation? She then followed it up with another question. "But did some of your mates back then in secondary school have one?" She said, "Yes, they did, but I was not friends with those people that did have boyfriends or were in a relationship at that time." The truth is that many of the times the things that we want to do are not for now, and they can constitute as distractions. As much as possible, take away distractions from your life. Distractions are things like the relationship I just mentioned. The distractions are things like social media. Yes, social media can be a distraction. If you don't have to be on TikTok or any other platform, I see no need for you to be there when you should be studying. She made one very good statement. She said that many people are not willing to put the sacrifice, and if you really do put the sacrifice, that even just for 6 months, you would see the result. And I'm telling you, will definitely see the result. So put in the sacrifice and I'm sure it will get better. You see, one of the biggest things I learned from this story is that the fact that you got a low score is not the end of life. Imagine she had 293 in the previous year and 372. That is almost 80 marks difference. Because of the score you had this year, you are giving up on your dreams. That is totally unwise of you to do. What you should do is look at why you had that score and plan intentionally towards having a better score. Don't look at what the environment is telling you. Don't look at what the situation is telling you. Look at what you know about what you can do. Believe in yourself, and I trust that you'll be able to get it, and you'll be able to get it better this time around. So here's my final advice to parents and to students. To parents, I would like to say that anything that your child needs for the preparation of their exams, I would like to implore you to help them get it. Many a times, it's not that your child is not brilliant, but many a times is that they don't have the resources that helps them to get the required academic excellence that you want out of their lives. So if you want them to get better, things like enrolling them in a good tutorials, things like getting the good study apps that they need or that they demand, things like just going out of your way to make sure that you fulfill all the righteousness in your path for them to get better, and believing in them. That is the most important thing I would like to tell parents. And for the students, I would like to advise you to take your academics seriously. I would like to advise you to not give up on yourself. I would like to advise you to not limit your potential to just your current result. That is not the end of life. And whatever you get now does not determine what you get in the future or who you become in life in total. Before you go, I want you to remember that motivation is not the thing you should draw out of this video. I want you to actually take action on the things that you have heard and learned from this video. Because if you do nothing about it, you will just remain at the same spot and position you were before you watched this video. So, meaning you just wasted your time and you shouldn't have watched this video. So do something about what you have heard now. Draft a timetable. Associate with better people. Drop old habits. And that way your life gets better. So if you have found value from this video, I want you to click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, because so many other videos on Post-UTME and medical school and studying techniques are going to be released on this channel subsequently. So if you found value, please share to a friend, and I remain Tutorinog. I would see you some other time. Bye.